Hope everybody's having a great day, great night, depending on where you're at in the world. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Hope you guys are living it up. Cause letting these people lie to y'all, man. Let these people lie to y'all, telling you y'all not gonna get your shit done in 2024 and up, bro. You know damn well time's relative. We taking advantage of this shit, man. Yo, the next time they hating on you, they talking about you ain't gonna do this, you ain't gonna do that. Tell them you liked and subscribe, bro. Let's get straight to it. Man, man. Well, AEW has been the talk of the town for just negativity and negativity and negativity, man. And it's, as a fan of AEW, it has been very frustrating. Because as a fan, a true fan of the product, you just have to be honest when things are just not looking right. When things are not looking up, things are just looking very left field, and it's just a lot of stuff that they can tweak and literally would change the dynamic of the show. It would change the direction of the show. It would give the show so much more life. It would give the show so much more to look forward to. And it seems like it don't matter how much complaining or things people are saying, because it's not like this is all critique from a hateful place. This is critique from a place of people wanting to see it get better. That's all people have been talking about. You know, if you watch any video about AEW, that's pretty much what it's about. Like the things, they say the problems. Okay, look at these problems and capitalize on them. Try to do something about them. For you guys to say and to come off as the company that actually listens to the fans, well, you have not been doing that in a while. But I gotta just go ahead and say the things that's actually good about it as a fan. I'm saying this from a fan perspective, not someone that's not a fan. I'm not saying your opinion don't matter. Everybody's opinions matter. But as a fan, I watch it from a different perspective because I do enjoy AEW still to some degree. So I'm going to go ahead and say the good things that are currently happening in AEW. And I'm just being completely honest. As a mark of Samoa Joe, I am definitely ecstatic that Samoa Joe is the world champion. I think it's well deserved. I'm glad that he's the world champion. That's one good thing. I'm also liking the idea of Hangman and Swerve's rivalry getting into the world title picture now. It's a three-way. Cool. I had a video about that could have been one of the scenarios. I say go ahead and give it to Swerve. You might as well pull the trigger now. Also, as a fan, I enjoyed the good matches, the banger matches, to decent matches. I enjoy the in-ring aspect of AEW. It's stiff, it's hardcore, it looks rough. I like it. I like it as a fan. I enjoy the matches. I enjoy Christian Cage. Like a lot of people have already said, this is some of Christian Cage's best work. You have to give it to the man being 50 years old. He looks better than he's ever been. As a TNT champion on top of everything, he gives that title so much prestige. I think that's another great thing about AEW right now. Got to give it to Timeless Tony Storm. She's one of the most entertaining things about AEW. She's killing it with the Timeless character. I like the fact every time you see her is in black and white. I just think that sticks out tremendously. There's nothing like that. I think that's really good when it's stuff like that where there's nothing like it. It's completely original. So shouts out to Tony Storm being one of the most entertaining things about AEW currently. And last but not least, the roster. I mean, it's never the roster's actual fault, it's the booking, but I can understand if you had a weak roster. This is a really, really, really good roster. This is probably a dream roster. I think the roster can't really get any bigger or better. Malachi, Keith Lee, Joe, Hangman, Swerve. I mean, I just keep it going. FTR, Young Bucks. This is one of the best rosters you'll probably get. Definitely trying to build. But now, I honestly gave out, in my personal opinion, the good things about AEW, and I was being completely honest about them. But I have to just say and state the obvious problems about AEW. Inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Um, there's no there's no stories being told on a weekly basis. There's no characters being developed on a weekly basis. There's no consistency when they do have a character, when they do have story. It's very inconsistent. Some things just get completely lost and then they just come back. For instance, Chris Jericho beefing with the Don Callis family for no reason just comes back when I thought the fight like a dragon thing was the end of that story. I could have sworn. You know, the lack of stories that's being told. There's no stories. There's very little stories. The lack of character work. We do not see anything like that. Barely. You know, you got a Timeless star, Christian Cage. That's why I put them in a good category. MJF is out, so of course he would have been in it. You got other people in it. You got other people. Darby, that's good about it. The roster. That's why I said the roster is good. So that's pretty much everyone. It's not the roster. The lack of direction for the roster in general. Another one, matches meaning more than everything. This goes to my breakdown of AEW as a foundation is 90% wrestling, 5% story, 5% character work. Sums up their entire foundation, their entire picture. We have the stop and start pushes that goes along with inconsistent. So you can just throw those in the middle of each other. Because you have people that start off on a rise and then they're just completely cold. Ricky Starks for no reason needed to lose to Danielson twice. It did nothing for Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks had a very lackluster, forgettable tag team title run. Nobody remembers anything because we barely got a time to even see them talk or do anything. Bill and Ricky Starks could talk, and they have personality compared to half of the roster. Comes to that aspect of wrestling. But at AEW, it seems like those things does not matter. Collision and Rampage, aka Dark on TV. Because that's exactly what they are now. You just have the stars or the people that they just want to give wins to, just beat the jobbers, and you know, you got beat the mid-carders, you got some mid-carders beating the jobbers. It's just, there's no anything before it, no anything after it. There's no one being billed on Collision. There's no one being billed on Rampage. It's just matches happening for the sake of happening. Daniel Garcia takes on Shane Taylor on Collision. And then this goes with the illogical booking of AEW as a whole on certain levels. Why is Daniel Garcia like giving somebody 4 times his size such a struggling match? When Daniel Garcia is literally my size, and I'm like 5'8", I'm like 180. You know, I'm very small guy. Shane Taylor is a big fucking dude. The only logical way of really beating a guy like that is winding him out, fucking with his legs, and having him hurt himself trying to hurt you out there in the ring. That's the only logical way. Just imagine if you're in a cage with this big guy. The only thing you really could do is hopefully you can get a knockout punch. You know, it's possible, but tiring him out, that's pretty much the only thing you could do in a real logical fight. And that's where the illogicalness come in because wrestling, yes, we know wrestling is scripted, it's predetermined, but it's supposed to give you the illusion of realism to some degree. That's where the entertainment aspect come in. It's supposed to give you some illusion of realism. And the fact Daniel Garcia beat him clean, and I'm not even saying he wasn't supposed to beat him clean, but like the match, I watched it, right? And it was just like they are having an even struggle, and it's just like, bro, it just doesn't even look believable. It's insulting people's intelligence. It's insulting mine. Because it's like, even Daniel Garcia win, he should be fucking his knees and legs and feet up, and he should be trying to tire out the big guys. Stuff like that. It's no reason for Daniel Garcia to be looking down there even. You got to stop with this idea that these average looking guys can really like take on a Warlow. You got to stop with that. Wrestling is for the freaks. That's just really what it is. You know, it's a freak show. You can have smaller guys. Yes, you can. But you should not have 100,000 underdogs. This is where Darby loses his credibility. Because there's a bunch of him on this roster. This is why Darby's the best one, because he gets his ass whooped by the big guys. He's like the only one that actually ever put over big guys in the right way. Honestly, when he gets Brody King, and Brody King is the main one I can think of. Joe, when he had that rivalry with Joe, like, he gets it. He's going to struggle. He's going to like speed it up. Daniel Garcia is tough, and he's like, you got to stop with that, bro. You got to stop. It's okay to have some of that, but it seems like everybody's like that. Everybody's this smaller, tough guy. And it's okay if it was a rare thing. Hook should be the only small, tough guy that should be beating a Shane Taylor with pretty much no problem. He should be the only one doing that. He's Taz's son. It only makes sense. You see what I mean? Hook, Darby, those should be the only ones that's like that. Got to get on another situation that many people ain't talking about. The tag team divisions are just in shambles. Darby and Sting winning is good. I like the fact Darby got a title, Sting got a title. Cool. They're going against the Bucks. I don't mind the Bucks being heel. I don't mind that. That's another actual good thing. The Bucks versus Sting and Darby. I don't mind that. But the tag team divisions is just nothing. Definitely the trios right now. The trios titles are just dead, honestly. The Acclaim, the men tag champs, I'm sure they've been defending it against whoever. There's never no real stories or build-ups. I'm hoping this is a swerve. Shouts out to Swerve. That the Bullet Club Gold is faking being on teams with them just to get closer, because I don't know if you've noticed in the rankings, they are number one contenders. So it only makes sense if the Bullet Club Gold turns on the Acclaim before Revolution. If they don't, then that goes back to the illogical booking, the no storytelling. This would tell a story. They clicked up with them just to get closer to take out the titles, to make the Acclaimed vulnerable. If that's not the story, then this is what I'm talking about. What's the problem with AEW? And overall, AEW just has no direction. Before I get back to no direction, I have to completely go to the women's division. The women's division as a whole is struggling really bad, and it don't have to be. I mean, Thunder Rosa's back. Saraya, I guess, can wrestle. You got beautiful AEW alumni like Thunder Rosa, Anna Jay. Why aren't you utilizing these girls? Why isn't Anna Jay on TV building herself, building a character for herself, establish herself every week? Why isn't Chris Statlander on AEW every week, establishing Willow Nightingale? You got a roster that could do it. It's just not happening. You got so many inconsistent situations going on. The Stokely halfway trying to get Chris Statlander. If you give us more detail to things with their stories, we would care more. But it's this ridiculous foundation, that formula that AEW does, which I can't stand. The damn announcer is in the back having a microphone in front of their face. It just looks amateur. It just comes off as amateur. Why aren't these people acting? Why aren't these people having interactions with the camera just on them? It's way better like that. There should only be few people that has a mic in their phone. Maybe someone you're trying to introduce. Maybe someone you're trying to put over. Maybe someone that can't really talk that well, but you're trying to give them something to do. That's the only time you should have a microphone in somebody's face in the backstage. Other than that, we need to have interactions with them in the back with a camera on them. What TNA used to do really good. TNA was probably the best with backstage interactions. They don't get no credit for this. Where they made it look like it was a camera from a hidden spot. So they had interactions. Say whatever you want about TNA, but that's what it was, exciting, regardless of what was going on. That was great visuals. It looked like it's really happening. It looked like somebody captured it. I'm not even saying if you take that completely from them, but if you're supposed to be a realistic company, then you do realistic stuff. Why aren't we having selfie videos of them having backstage interactions? Why we're not having Instagram videos of them having backstage interactions, and Twitter videos of them having a Twitter live, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Of them having backstage interactions to sell your stories. Why we're not doing that then? I just gave you a whole idea right there. I don't even see WWE really doing that, where they have Instagram live videos with them having interactions in the back to sell a story. Why aren't we having none of that? It's not that hard, man. I just don't think it is that hard if you gave people stuff to do on television. I don't think it's that hard if you just gave Action and Andretti a storyline. I don't think it's that hard if you made Scorpio Sky be a hitman. He's attacking people because he want to take people's spots. It's that simple. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Why do you think Hangman and Swerve was actually like the last good feud y'all had? Because it was very simple. Swerve wanted Hangman's spot. That's a good story. It's not that hard. Really not that hard. Isn't Joe and Taz having words? He do his son like that in front of him, and Taz ain't got no smart remarks or talking shit where you ain't gonna tease Taz versus Joe, and then Joe gets some heat by beating up Taz, knowing Taz is injured, he's older, he can't defend himself. You want to give Joe some heat, do that. You want to give Hook a boost of confidence where, oh, we want to see Hook whoop Joe ass now, do that. Just gave you scenarios of stories right there. I don't think it's that difficult. I just think it's the lack of enthusiasm to even book these shows, or lack of care. It's just, you can't sit here and really tell me Tony Khan really believes what he's putting out is good shit. He can't really believe this. This goes back to no direction. And he's booking like 2K23, 2K24. He's booking like the 2K WWE Universe mode. Matches. Post-match attacks. Maybe a short little interview that does nothing for nobody. Doesn't simmer. Doesn't communicate well with the audience of what's even going on. 2-minute little interactions. Maybe 90 seconds. Everybody gets interrupted before they talk. This is what every heel does. They just interrupt everybody before they talk. Making the good guy look like an idiot, because 9 times out of 10, the good guy never even say anything. They just do a little face or get in their face, push them, maybe slap them, maybe attack. It's the same stuff, bro. It's the same stuff that's not working. Y'all want to be different, be different. But why take away the essence of what make a pro wrestling show a pro wrestling show? The visuals are off. Because this is the problem, like I said, with the backstage interactions. We should stop having the announcer, the interviewer or whatever, having a fucking mic interface, instead of just letting the wrestlers have interactions on their own. On top of that, have people that they're trying to introduce, like the CML guys, We don't have a nameplate. You know how the nameplate shows up on the visual of their name, of who they are, what they probably represent, where they're from probably. You know, when you come out in the entrance, that's the nameplate. Why we don't have the nameplate of when you're trying to introduce someone? Why we don't have video packages of a vignette of whoever you're trying to display? Never have none of these things. Tony Khan and his crew, whoever's writing this, they have to get out of this bubble. They got to get out of their own little world. They got to get out of their way. The problem is they really believe whoever's watching AEW is a hardcore fan. I don't mean a hardcore fan. I said I'm a fan, but I'm not a hardcore fan to the degree where I know every wrestling indie company in the world. I know who's who in Japan. Like, I'm not that hardcore on it. I only watch primetime wrestling. I catch up with TNA here and there sometime, but I only watch primetime wrestling. AEW believes who's ever watching this is those fans. And yes, they are watching. But why don't you want to include fans that have never heard of AEW? Somebody might like Darby Allin. Somebody might like Ricky Starks. Somebody might like Wardlow. Somebody might like Britt Baker. Somebody might like Saraya. But when you don't display anything, none of their attributes that actually make them who they are, talking, character development, all that good stuff, when you don't display none of that, it's just a match. That's all it is, matches. You wonder why the ratings are at a stagnant standstill. This is why. See, the thing is with AEW, the issues they have are not even difficult to solve. That's the bad part. Collision and Rampage. If you separated the shows, Collision being the B show, Rampage being the C show, the middleman. If you had Collision have his own selective roster that's exclusive to Collision, that you're trying to build, you got exclusive titles in Collision that you're trying to build, certain champions, Collision would be so much more smoother. Instead of it being the system where whoever we're just trying to get over, they're just winning matches, there's no stories, there's no long-term nothing. It's just winning matches. It's illogical bookings, inconsistent booking. It's basically dark on TV, like I said. It's just matches happening. The higher stars are just beating the lower stars. No heat, no build-ups, nothing. Like, you got enough titles to give Collision its own set of titles that they use for Collision. You have even enough titles for Rampage. Why can't Rampage promote Ring of Honor more? It's a lower show. Ring of Honor is the lowest show. You feel me? Then, if you want to promote Ring of Honor, give us a video package sometime. Stop having their ridiculous looking titles that are fucking silver. They're silver. That automatically turns anybody away. Nobody wants to win a silver gold, bro. If it ain't a chain, if it ain't a grill, if it ain't earrings, jewelry, some shit, nobody wants silver. Nobody wants that color. When you're a champion, what the fuck does UFC look like having their title look silver? They could probably get away with it though, but still, gold titles is gold. That's literally where it is. It's gold. The Ring of Honor titles look ridiculous. This is why it's not helping the Undisputed Era. They're flexing with fucking Ring of Honor titles. Y'all the top team, supposedly. The last top team that came out, this comes with the inconsistent and the illogicalness. Y'all the last top team that came out. And y'all flexing with fucking the motion tag titles instead of the real tag titles. AEW tag titles. Ain't it on an AEW program? If this is Ring of Honor, it would make all the sense. But the Undisputed Era is on Dynamite. Y'all supposed to be the top heel team. Doesn't feel like it to me. Another set of illogicalness that goes with this. There's a Christian Cage heel faction. There's a Don Callis heel faction. There's an Adam Cole heel faction. Where is the opposing team? That goes back to the illogicalness. That goes back to the inconsistency. you bring the Acclaim and the Bang Bang Gang, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, right? The Bullet Club Gold and the Acclaim, which I could have sworn the Bullet Club Gold came out there after the Undisputed Era when they first came in, the first Dynamite of them showing themselves, all the other shit. They came out there to try to get revenge because the Undisputed Era attacked Jay White, right? For the MJF feud. The Acclaim comes out there to aid the Bullet Club Gold to set up a team between them two. Not even maybe 2 weeks later, they're together, but okay, yay, sweet, Bang Bang Scissor Gang, sounds cool. Did we forget the whole reasoning why they even band together? If my logical wrestling mind says it right, aren't they supposed to band together to take out the Undisputed Era? We completely forgot about that, didn't we? They're just a team for no reason. This is just riddles and it just, nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. Nothing. Roger Strong is beefing with Orange Cassidy just out of nowhere. Instead of everybody beefing with the Undisputed Era. Didn't they put Hangman through a window shield? I mean, weren't they blaming Swerve? And I mean, weren't they working with Joe? Where are they in the title picture at all? Well, that's all I gotta say. Overall, AEW has no direction. And like I said, AEW problems are not even that hard to figure out. But I'm not saying I know everything. But what do you guys think? Comment below. Like I said, man, people hating on y'all, telling y'all you're not gonna get your shit done in 2024 and up. You need to tell them not only eat a Snickers, because you're not yourself when you're not eating Snickers, but you also can't be yourself if you're not like to subscribe. Tell them you like to subscribe. Tell them you one of those ones. And, you know, they might be better. You feel me? We out.